Hi everybody, Remy Rex here and welcome back to another Marvel Strike Force video. In today's video we are going to be going through my top 5 tips for running a successful alliance in Marvel Strike Force. So let's hop into the game and get into it. So this is my alliance here. For those of you that don't know, I have been leading my alliance for just over 1 year. I started playing about 6 months previous to that, and I was in an alliance that was part of a cluster when the leader went to move to a different alliance within the cluster, and so I was given leadership. So we were the bottom alliance in the cluster, so we were never full, so I did work really hard to build my alliance up. We started off with Gold 1, Ultima 6 30%, Greeks 3 30%, all the way up to Ult 7.5, pretty much 100%, Greeks 4.2, and we even do Doom raids a couple of times a week. So I'm going to share my top 5 tips with you on how to run a successful alliance, or what I did to help run a successful alliance. So tip number 1, get yourself some good captains. Get yourself some help. Don't try and do it all by yourself, okay? Because you can't be on the game 24/7 and you just need to have help. But you don't just want to bring anybody in. You need to get good, reliable, trustworthy people. So start talking to your alliance, talking to people, find out who puts in the extra work, who's doing the extra reading, getting that extra knowledge about the game, and start talking to them and get yourself some captains. I have 3 captains, one for each strike team, and they are responsible for looking after their own strike teams, making sure everybody join the raids, everybody does what they need to do. If we're going for 100%, it gets done. And then I have 2 captains as well as myself that look at Alliance War, and we work solely on Alliance War and getting things done. And that also helps with the time zones, as well as just saving people from burning out from kind of having to do every single war. So I do have 5 captains. I do think that is a good amount. I definitely recommend having at least 3 or 4 captains, so you can have one for each strike team. It definitely makes everything a little bit easier. And if you're an alliance that has lots of people from different time zones, you do get some captains across all time zones, so that there's always somebody awake if a problem were to arise. So that's my tip number 1. For my second tip, be realistic in terms of requirements and expectations. So I am going to make a separate video for recruiting and how to recruit successfully. I have had lots of success with recruiting, so I will share my tips and my secrets for that with you in another video. But do please be realistic in what you want from your members. So create a channel in your Discord with objectives and requirements, and list what it is that you want people to do. If it's they must do a certain amount of raid nodes each raid, they must do a certain amount of attacks in war, you want them doing certain things, put that in your requirements so that everybody knows what is expected of them, okay? And be realistic in terms of what you want that to be. So don't be demanding too much, don't be demanding people to be on the game the whole time. Figure out where your alliance sits in terms of activity and competitiveness, and work that out. Do you want to have two on wars and an off war? Do you just want to have casual wars? Do you only want 5 attacks? Do you want 5 attacks in the first 3 hours? Be realistic in terms of what you want, but let your alliance know what it is you're asking for. So that's my second tip. For my third tip, create a strike system and be open with communication with it. So there's no point you going, well, I have a strike system in my head, I monitor it, and I kick people when they get 3 strikes. You're never going to get anywhere with that. So again, in your Discord, if that's what you use for communication, where you have your roles and requirements or your expectations, put out what you'll be giving strikes for and let people know how many strikes it is when they will get kicked. So for example, I work on a 5 strike system, and people can receive a strike for not joining raids and not doing any damage, not doing enough attacks in war, missing a donation, things like that. And then I have a spreadsheet where me and all the captains have access to, and we can kind of keep a tally of anybody that is getting strikes or needs watching. It doesn't happen too much anymore, but again, when I was first starting out, it really helped me kind of work out who wasn't pulling their weight and who was consistently letting us down. And then what we would do is if somebody was getting close to their 5th strike, I would send them a message and say, look, just to let you know, you've received 4 strikes so far. We're going to keep monitoring you, but if you do receive your 5th strike, you will be replaced. Some leaders do it like that. Some leaders do a 3-strike system that gets reset every month. And also, again, that is absolutely fine. Whatever works for you and whatever is easy for you to monitor, but let your alliance know that there is this strike system if that's what you're going to use. So that's my 3rd tip. For my 4th tip for you all, create a place where people want to be. So the best way to have a really great alliance, to have this alliance where everybody's chatting, everything's going on, where people want to be, make it easier for recruiting, is to create an atmosphere where people actually want to be and people actually want to stay. And you'll be amazed at how just being active on Discord and chatting on Discord will help player participation and will help activity and communication within your alliance. When I first became a member of my current alliance, we never talked, we never did anything, we never said anything. It was pretty much dead on Discord and dead in game. People just did their dailies, and that was it. So when I first became leader, I thought, well, how can I get us chatting? How can I get us getting to know each other? How can I suss out who's going to be a good captain? So I started just creating a bit of chit chat. If I saw somebody unlock a character in game or get a high red star, I would congratulate them. I asked people if they had any pets, if they wanted to create a pet spam channel, and we did, and we started chatting about people's pets and start getting to know each other. So create an atmosphere where people want to be. Praise it when people do, really great things and celebrate them, chat to them, ask them, if they do a good war matchup, ask them how they did it, get their knowledge, and make them feel inclusive within your environment. And then you've almost built yourself a small community. And that's what will make people want to stay and stick around. They want to turn up because they want to help their friends and their alliance mates, and they want to do well for them, not just themselves. Because the only way you can do well in this game is if you work together in an alliance. So make a place where people want to be. And then finally, for my 5th tip for you all, is take it on the chin. Now that might sound a bit silly just saying it on its own, but hear me out by what I mean. You're going to get people that don't enjoy being in your alliance. You're going to get people that leave your alliance without saying anything. And you're going to get people that, you might bash heads with over why you do certain things. And that is absolutely fine. That is natural. That happens everywhere in all types of life. So if somebody doesn't like how you do things and they want to leave, let them leave. You don't need to create a big mountain out of it. You don't need to create any arguments or anything. Just wish them well and let them go. Okay, do not take it personally. If somebody does not like being in your alliance, it does not necessarily mean you have done something wrong. Okay, if you have 22 other people that do like being in your alliance. So don't take it personally. Don't, burn the bridges with them. Just wish them well and let them leave. Because if somebody wants to leave, they're gonna leave, okay? So a lot of this I feel comes down to how you recruit and being realistic with your recruitment, which I will cover in a separate video coming soon, I promise. But do be realistic and take things on the chin. If somebody doesn't like being in your alliance, that is absolutely fine. So that's kind of my whistle-stop tour of my 5 top tips and kind of things that I've learned from being an alliance leader and that's helped me run a successful alliance. I hope that's really helped some of you who are leaders. I'm hoping to showcase in some future videos, as I said, I'm going to do some top tips for recruitment because I know that's probably the worst part of being an alliance leader. And then I'm also going to talk a little bit about looking at like war layouts and war strategies as well. And again, sharing what I do. So all the content I produce is just sharing from my own experiences. If you do have any questions, you can put them down below and I will answer all your comments. Or if you want to come and join me on Twitch, so I stream live on Twitch on Tuesdays, Fridays and Sundays. So if you want to come and ask me any questions there and have a chat and ask for any advice, I'll be more than happy to talk through anything and help where I can. And if you have found this useful, I really appreciate if you would give it a like. And if I don't see you on Twitch, I will catch you in the next one.